over 55 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by the Georgia Farm Bureau in association with Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College.
Let me guess, you were just scrolling through the channels, landed on us, and now the remote's not working, so you're stuck here, right? Whatever the reason you're here, welcome to the show.
Yes, and even if you can change the channel, don't, because we've got a great lineup for you this week. Coming up, after one of the most financially devastating years on record, many Georgia farmers are just trying to stay afloat. The one-time federal payment designed to keep them in the game and when that money could arrive. Record acreage, tight margins, and a growing concern about what comes next as Georgia peanut farmers look ahead to the 2026 season. New warnings are being raised.
Plus, if you're looking for something warm, simple, and satisfying on a cold, wintry day, we've got you covered. Meals in the field and so much more starting right now on the Farm Monitor.
You hear it said all the time, food security is national security. But with input costs at record highs and commodity prices sliding, that's become a much tougher job for America's farmers. As Damon Jones reports, that's why lawmakers passed the Farmer Bridge Assistance Program. Its purpose to help offset some of the losses producers faced in 2025.
While Georgia farmers have long struggled with high costs and low prices for their crops, 2025 brought record losses. It's why the recently approved Farmer Bridge Assistance Program is sorely needed in order to help producers stay afloat in the short term.
It's a holdover until we can get some more meaningful things in place. So whether that's higher commodity prices or lower inputs or more favorable trade deals, this is just what the administration could do immediately. It'll be a one-time payment. All the payment rates are calculated based off the commodity prices versus cost of production.
Two of the crops that will benefit the most are two of the state's largest, which both saw a negative per acre profit last year.
Those that were really struggling last year and the year before and the year before that and the year before that with the cotton crop are gonna look to shore up. And those that struggled almost as much as cotton last year with peanuts, they should be looking at a decent enough holdover until we get to a more favorable market condition.
Over the past decade, the number of farms in the U.S. has fallen by nearly 10%, a trend that would only be accelerated without this kind of assistance.
It's absolutely vital. Without it, I think you'd see a lot of people with last year being their last year farming. With this, I think it kind of helps farmers pay outstanding debts. This is really not going to the farmers. It's going to go in their pocket and out of their pocket the next day or same day, just to go ahead and pay outstanding bills and shore up existing debts.
And now the $12 billion question is, when can farmers expect to receive these payments?
Right now, rumor is February. I know that they still need to do some work on the specialty crop side. But for the covered commodities, those that have already had payment rates listed, the mechanism for that is pretty simple. You know, it's just whatever your payment rate is times your planted crops. So they should be able to get a check out relatively soon.
While that might seem like a large number, it's only a fraction of the financial losses suffered by the agricultural industry last year.
There's been a good discussion about trying to bring in another bridge type payment or bridge adjacent payment. It was one of the things that we made concerns about and listed and made sure that our lawmakers knew. You know, $12 billion is great. It is very appreciated. Without it, we'd be $12 billion further from where we need to be. It just did not go far enough for shoring it up.
Reporting from Macon, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
For nearly 5 decades, one event has helped shape the future of Georgia's peanut industry. Not with flash, but with facts. And this year, growers once again came together to see what's next and hear what matters most heading into the season. The Monitor's John Holcomb reports from Tifton.
Every year, peanut growers here in Georgia make their way to the Georgia Peanut Farm Show, a yearly event that gives producers the chance to fellowship with one another, see the latest and greatest equipment, and hear updates from experts in the industry.
Just a good choice to come in this time of the year to gather information to help them be more profitable in this coming year. Tough times farming. We're in a tough situation now with market prices of so many commodities, and it just gives them a choice to come look and see the latest data so they make choices to help them on the farm.
Aside from getting to meet with vendors and see the newest equipment, producers also got to attend production seminars in which industry experts like Scott Munford, an extension peanut agronomist with the University of Georgia, spoke about the challenging year growers had this past season.
Weather's caused problem now 3 years in a row, and it's caused this in the middle of the season, so we hadn't been able to fill everything out like we should. That's why we didn't yield as much. We had 6 weeks of dry, hot weather. That caused blooming problems. We had to extend the maturity of these things out a little bit. In other words, we had to leave them in the field a little bit longer to try to get as much weight as we could. And so that caused, delays, but also 900,000 acres. It caused some bottlenecks getting peanuts in. So overall, I think it was a decent year.
However, according to Mumford, growers have a lot to figure out for this year after the record crop last season, as he believes it's not sustainable and comes with real financial and agronomic challenges.
A lot of people are, trying to figure out how many acres I'm going to plant. Last year we were at 911,000 acres. That's the largest we've had since World War II. The question is, can we sustain that? And I would say probably not. Not for a long period of time. Now, can we do it one more year if we had to? Maybe. But we're not going to get any money for it, barely above loan. And then the more we get into these short rotations, the more input costs are going to go up. The more risk for disease is going to go up. And so what little money we might make, with peanut compared to other crops is going to start being more and more, going to be tighter.
And because of that, Bob Kimmerite, extension plant pathologist with the University of Georgia, believes it's more important than ever that growers stick to the basics.
A lot of times growers say, well, I spent so much money, or I tried to do things well last year, and sometimes it didn't work out the way I thought it would. So my message today was, why might you have thought you were doing it right last year? You invested in the fungicides, the nematicides, the varieties, you did everything you thought you should, and why didn't it go your way? And sometimes it's just the basics. It's the timing of applications. It's how often you spray. It's did you get delayed going into a field. It's what your spray volume was. So my message today was, we've got to fight diseases. We got to fight nematodes. But going into 2026, it's more important than ever to make sure we don't forget the basics on timing, application strategies, making sure that we're getting the most out of what we invest in.
Reporting in Tifton for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
Up next, when the temperature drops, this is the kind of meal you crave. We're making a soup and a sandwich, but not the ones you're thinking.
America is 250 years in the growing, and going stronger still. From our earliest days, when a young nation pushed west toward open skies and open land, one crop moved with us. It fed a growing nation. It fueled opportunity. It helped make rural America the backbone of the country. Generation after generation, corn anchored families, strengthened communities, and helped shape the places where American spirit took root. Through good years and hard ones, corn and the farmers who grow it stood steady, resilient, innovative, always ready to meet the moment. And today, corn is doing something extraordinary. It's powering cleaner fuels, creating renewable materials, strengthening rural towns, and advancing innovation made right here at home. Corn and the farmers who grow it are driving new momentum for the next American century. Because the future isn't something we wait for. It's something we grow together with grit, care, and optimism. As America looks to the next 250 years, corn and the farmers behind it stand ready to keep providing, to keep innovating, and to keep growing what comes next. Corn, America's crop for America's future.
So at the time of this taping, it's a cool, brisk 20-something degrees outside here in beautiful Athens, Georgia. Perfect timing for soup and sandwiches on a cold, wintry day. Anyway, good to see you again, Tracy. Yes, Dr. Tracy Brigman with us. As always, year 2 for you and I?
Yes, yeah.
You're going into year 2. Exciting, and she still hasn't kicked me out of her kitchen yet, so that's great. So yeah, what are we doing today?
Okay, so we're going to start with a corn chowder, because a thick corn chowder, really good for warming your insides on a cold winter day. So what I have in my pot here, I put 2 tablespoons of butter in, melted it, and then I had 4 pieces of thick cut bacon that I chopped into small pieces. I browned it, I drained it. I'm going to put this off to the side.
Okay.
So this is the white part of 6 green onions. I'm going to put that in my fat.
Okay.
And then this is 4 ribs of celery that I chopped finely because I don't want super crunchy. I'm going to put that in as well. This is 2 minced onions, and then I need a bay leaf, so if you can fish one out and put that in the pot. And we're going to turn this on medium heat. We're going to stir it occasionally and let it cook for about 10 minutes until my celery is softened. All right, so my garlic and my celery has softened in my fat, so now I'm going to add some more ingredients. We're going to add 1 quart of chicken stock, not chicken broth, but chicken stock. This is 1 pound of Yukon Gold potatoes that we cut into about 1-inch pieces. A Yukon potato is an all-purpose potato, so it's a mix between waxy and mealy, so it's going to hold its shape in the soup, but it's still going to be a little bit what they call fluffy as well, so I'm going to add that. Oops. And then we're going to add, this is 1/2 of a red bell pepper. You can choose whatever color, but I like the red because it makes it really colorful, because we're going to have corn, we're going to have green onion, then we have the red, so it makes it really festive. So 1/2 of a red bell pepper that I chopped, add that in. And then here I have 4 cups of corn kernels that we cut off the cob. It took about 4 to 5 ears of corn to cut that off. We're going to put that in. And then to make it even more rich and creamy, I scraped the cob, so you can see this here. You use the back of your knife and kind of on a down angle away from you, just kind of scrape, and you see how that comes off.
Okay.
It gives some starchy and some rich creaminess to my chowder. So all of the cobs that I got the corn kernels off, we scraped, and we're going to put that in there. And then this is 1 14.75 ounce of creamed corn, so even more creamy or more corn. And then that is 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and that's for later. And then 2 teaspoons of kosher salt.
Okay.
So we're going to stir that in, and we're going to get it to a boil and cook it for about 15 minutes. I want my corn to soften a little bit, and I want my potatoes to cook through. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes, and I checked my corn is tender, my potatoes are tender, so it's time to move on to the last and final step. I'm going to remove that bay leaf that we put in earlier. And then we're going to add back the bacon that I made earlier. Put that in there, and then if you remember the green onions, I had 6 green onions. I put the white part in. Now I'm going to put the green part in for some color. So that's the green part of 6 green onions. And then that is 3/4 cup of heavy cream. So we pour that in, give it a stir, and just let it warm up a little bit. Since I just put cold cream in, so maybe about 5-10 minutes. Look how pretty that is. And your soup is ready to go.
So we got the soup, now it's time to make the sandwich.
So what goes good with corn? Ham. So in this bowl, I have 2 cups of cubed ham. It's a great way to use leftover ham from the holidays that maybe you put in the freezer, or you can buy cubed ham, but this is 2 cups that I put through a food processor. You can see that it's finely chopped. To this, we're gonna add a 1/2 cup of sweet pickle relish.
Dump. There we go. Okay.
And then that is 4 hard-cooked eggs that I chopped.
All right.
And then this is 3/4 cup finely chopped celery.
Celery.
1/2 cup of finely chopped sweet onion.
Onions.
And then that's 1/4 cup of mayonnaise.
And mayonnaise.
We are going to stir all of that together.
Okay.
And then if you see over there, I have an onion roll. This goes really good with the ham salad. So I have the onion roll that I cut in half. Once we have this mixed together, this is enough for 6 sandwiches. So we're gonna put about 1/2 cup of ham salad on each sandwich. We're gonna wrap it in that foil, stick it in a 350-degree oven, and let it heat up for about 10 to 15 minutes. And so then you have a hot sandwich to go with your hot cup of soup.
Soup and sandwiches. You cannot go wrong in weather like this. And of course, you can make these recipes at home by logging on to farm-monitor.com. Going up to the top of that page, hit the recipe section. Everything is listed step by step for you, so it's very, very easy to make these. And again, this is perfect timing because it is a little bit chilly outside. Football weather, yeah. Nothing like soup and sandwiches while you're watching a good game of football. Tracy, thank you so much. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next month on another edition of Meals from the Field.
Tracy, Ray, thanks so much. In case you're new to the program, we do want to let you know that you can catch up on any stories you might have missed today or from previous programs. They're all up on our YouTube channel. Once there, you'll find a good deal of content covering a variety of subjects, and the best part is our archive goes way back to 2009. When we come back, what every farm dog owner should know about food, medications, and hidden dangers around the farm.
I had this accident. It was very difficult. I'm just like, what is there left for me to do? And I got Max here. He's really helped. Back in 2004, I had a heavy equipment rollover accident. Broke my back, blast fracture, shot into my spinal cord. Surgeon comes in and says, you're never gonna walk again. You're just like, oh. My days were spent on horses or tractors. And it's like, how are you gonna do that again? And I remembered in my youth when I saw one of our neighbors, border collies out, they just worked all together as a unit. I'm sitting there going, okay, well, maybe that would help me. Other disabled people use service dogs. My first impression of Max was just, oh wow, this is gonna be a really good dog and it's gonna be fun. Within a month to 6 weeks, we had bonded, and now he goes with me everywhere. I've had cows out over 1.5 miles away, and he knows where they belong. I really don't have to give him much direction. He knows. So I just say, go get them, and he'll bring them back. I've dropped screwdrivers before, or wrenches. I drop my phone, he'll come over there and pick it up, hand it to me. He's not only a working dog that helps me, but he's great with the family. He loves our daughter, Brinley. We'll go pick her up from school. He is a great friend. I don't ever want to be without a good dog again. Together, we'd make things work.
Finally this week, it's no surprise that we're all about the farm dog here at Farm Bureau. We have Lucky, of course, GFB's mascot, and our latest farm dog of the year, Rooster. We caught up with Dr. John Hutchins from Hands of Hope Animal Hospital to talk about how we can keep our farm dogs healthy and prepped for their farm duties.
The perfect farm dog would be one that is loyal to their people. The perfect farm dog would also be just a driven, like excited. It's what they're genetically programmed to do, is to go out and herd and track and just run and be free.
Dr. John Hutchins, a graduate of the University of Georgia, has seen a lot of farm dogs over the last 17 years of practicing veterinary medicine. He opened his own practice, Hands of Hope Animal Hospital, a few years ago. And it's safe to say he's seen a lot of cases where dogs have eaten the most interesting things.
Common cleaners or socks, underwear, different, objects around the house. I would say probably the most common issues with dietary indiscretion are probably around food, things from the table, things they pick up from the floor around the table or that the kids drop.
He says keep your farm dog away from fatty foods. Now, us humans tend to love those fatty foods. After all, that's where all the flavor is, right?
So we eat a lot of things with a lot of salt, a lot of fat. That's where the flavor is hanging out. And so for us, we're eating these really kind of fatty meals and does not do very well for our dog patients.
Also, never let your dogs consume grapes.
It can be extremely toxic, and so stay away from grapes, even in the smallest degree. They don't need to eat raisins, it's even worse.
But it's not just food you need to watch out for.
There are times that they get into the owner or human counterpart's medication or are given medications that they shouldn't be given. Their medicine is not our medicine and vice versa.
He said even the medicine you give your livestock could be harmful to other animals on the farm.
Pharmaceuticals, it's a broad conversation piece there, and especially on the farm where you have multiple species, making sure that you're using the correct medication for that particular species, whether that's your dog, cat, horse, pig, cow, what have you. Some can be used amongst all the species, some can be used for a certain species and not others, and then also knowing the concentrations. Ivermectin is a common dewormer, anti-parasite medication, and yes, it's in all species. The problem is the dose is gravely important, and a dog is not a small cow. A dog is not a small horse. The dosing is extremely important on whether it's helpful or it's toxic.
And it's not just pharmaceuticals that could be dangerous to your pet. Some common houseplants like lilies or poinsettias can be toxic to dogs too. Dr. Hutchins says being aware of what's growing in your environment or in your pet's environment could make all the difference.
Even if it's naturally growing, identify the plants that are in the environment so that you know if my dog's chewing on this, should I be concerned?
So how do you know if your dog has ingested something they shouldn't?
Usually the signs that we commonly will see initially would be vomiting, diarrhea, lethargy, and some toxic ingestion episodes, neurologic issues, so tremors, seizures.
He says if you think your dog has ingested something it probably shouldn't, call your veterinarian.
It's all about awareness. What's in the environment that they can get into.
More ag news, more stories, and more from Georgia agriculture. It's all at farm-monitor.com and on social media.
As always, we appreciate you watching. Take care, stay safe, and have a great week. We're going to see you again. Another Farm Monitor.